Got it.
Yeah, I was getting a little worried there for a second. Okay, good. How many people do we have? We got a couple ready to go. You're gonna hear a little barking in the background there because the dog is. Can you guys? Probably not gonna spill. See my feet. I'm gonna have to move this back, I think. I'm not used to the new space yet. You see my feet there now?
Yeah, I think if you tilt it down just slightly, it should be perfect.
Should be good? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So I guess we're gonna do a little bit of review from last day. I don't know if everybody's been working on their slipping and rotating, right? But just as a little warm-up exercise, we'll just do what I like to call the pivot principle again. So essentially, all I want you to do is you're going to rotate forward on the ball of your right leg, just as if you were throwing a right hand. Okay, you don't even need to, at this point, you don't need to throw a punch. And then you're just going to flatten that foot out and then rotate with the left hook, right? So that's going to look like this from the side, rotate, rotate. And we're just going to do that I want you to actually do that for a full round just to get the kind of motion, okay? Give you a couple of minutes to do it. Again, you're rotating here. When you want to keep your hands up high when you're doing this, turn, rotate, and then try and always keep your eyes forward. Perfect. I know it seems like an awkward motion, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much the base that everything is going to come off of. And let's try and keep our elbows not notched forward, guys. Try and keep them tight to your body, okay?
And how can they be up on your cheekbones if they're into your body too, unless you're hunching?
So what you want to do, and this is where it comes to blade your body a little bit, right? So as I turn my body, you'll feel your elbows kind of, and what you want to do is point your left shoulder towards me. Yeah. And then you want, yeah, exactly. Then your hands in that position there. And then just hold nice and tight. Tight in like so. Yeah. And that's going to give you a little bit of the ability also to protect yourself with the body shots as well, right? Okay.
So you kind of keep your upper arms in tight to your body.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep them in nice and tight. Yeah. And the great thing about this, guys, is what this is allowing you to do is you're doing the same motion that you're going to do for a slip, and you're doing the same motion that you're going to do to throw a right hand or a left hook. It's all the same motion, okay? And this allows you to counterpunch immediately afterwards, right? Okay, so what I want you to do now, guys, is we're gonna slip a punch, and then we're gonna counter with a punch, okay? So in this case, what I'm gonna have you do is, again, we're starting with our hands up here, nice and tight. We're gonna slip that shot, okay? We're gonna slip to the outside of the punch. So if the person threw a jab at me, I'm slipping to the outside. My eyes are still on the opponent, and then I'm turning over into a right hand, okay? So again, I'm slipping, and I'm turning into that right hand for the counter punch. Slipping, and then I'm turning into that right hand. And by being on the ball of your foot here, it's just a transfer of weight, okay? Keep your eyes on your opponent all the time. So you want to keep your eyes forward all the time. Good. Good. Shoot it right out there, yeah. Now we're gonna try it from the other side. So today, this one, we're gonna emulate that straight right hand is coming at us, or that right cross, okay? So again, we're in this position here. We're slipping to the outside, eyes on our opponent, and then we're gonna counter punch with that left hook. So you're going the other way on this one. There's always to the outside of the punch, right? So if I throw a right hand, you're gonna want to be on the outside of my right hand with your hand, right? So I'm gonna be out here, yeah, exactly, and then I'm gonna come into a left hook. So you want to switch your stance for this one. You're standing in the southpaw, yeah, there you go, southpaw, there you go, perfect. Now do it.
But then that's a right hook.
No. So you're gonna slip. You're gonna turn your body. You're gonna slip to your left.
A slip. Oh, fucking
Yeah, slip out of the punch and then come back with a hook. There you go. Yeah.
yeah, I did that last time too. Okay.
No worries. Okay. So now, I just wanted to do, that was just a quick review of what we did last day. So you're getting the general idea, and we'll go more and more into these things as time goes on. But the one thing that I like to really focus on for defense is your footwork. Because if you move your entire body, obviously, you're going to prevent yourself from getting hit as well, right? So what I like to have all my athletes do when I'm training them is after they throw a combination, we'll do a sidestep pivot, okay? With a pivot, what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your foot, you're gonna take your foot, you're gonna place it just a little bit to your left on the ball of the foot, and then you're literally gonna turn, okay? Remember that your opponent's coming, what you have to envision here is your opponent's coming at you in a straight line. They're coming at you, right? I pivot, and now I have an angle on them, okay? Because this person is still standing in that square, straightforward position. This would be their head. As you can see, it's right there for me, okay? And in order for that person to defend that, they have to turn their body again towards me, okay? At which point I could turn again. So again, it's just a quick little step here. So you'll see, like, I'm just gonna step over a little bit. And this is gonna go to the outside of their feet, right? And then I'm gonna pivot. That pivot's gonna let me have an angle on the person, which is gonna give me an advantage. Okay. Yeah, so just practice that. And you can do that both ways, right? But right now we'll just focus on the left.
What if you don't do the little step? Like, what if you just?
You could just pivot, but the thing is like, just as an example, if this was my opponent, right? If I just pivot here, you can see I'm still within their reach, right?
Right.
But by doing this, I've now created a full angle on them, right? Okay. And the big thing to remember, you can pivot both ways, but you almost want to look at where you are in the position to your opponent. So if I'm over farther to this side, well then yeah, I can pivot this way, no problem. And then you would just pivot on the spot, right? If you're pivoting the other way. You don't even need to do that. You don't need to step. You're just gonna same thing. You're just gonna roll. Oh, actually, I'll cut that further so you can see better. You're just gonna be in this position here. So I'm here. I'm just pivoting. Just turn.
Oh, forward.
Yeah, because he's here. He's facing me, right? Consider this your opponent's body. I'm here. I turn.
Huh.
Right. But again, it depends on where you are. If you're over on this side of my body, you don't want to pivot this way because you're gonna walk right into something. But if you're closer to this side, so you're always gonna want to go. What I'm trying to say is you're always gonna want to go to the side that you're farther over on, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna give you the advantage. Because if I was all the way over here and then I tried to pivot here, well, I'm gonna get hit, right? So I need to be. If I was in line with the feet here, you're basically a mirror image of each other, right? So this is where the term toe-to-toe comes from, right? You got your opponent's foot, your foot, I'm in line, so there's no problem for me to go this way now, right? If I was over here against their power hand, I'm going to want to go to the outside of it, right? Which was the left one that we did, right? Okay. So we'll just do like a simple combo, and then we'll do a pivot afterwards. Okay. So remembering, we don't throw all the other fundamentals out, right? So I'm going to come forward with a 1-2, right? Pushing off my back foot. I throw the jab as I step, I bring that back foot in, I throw the cross, and then from there, as the cross comes back, I step over and pivot. Okay? Yeah, and just do it slow until you get comfortable with it. Cross, and then you pivot.
It's weird to do a step after you're pulling back on the cross.
So remember, yeah, and a lot of this stuff's gonna feel awkward.
But I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're pushing off the back foot, right? We're pushing off our back foot to bring our jab in. I push off with my back foot. It looks like this. I push in, then I bring my back foot in. Okay. From there, I'm coming up on my hip. I'm turning over into my cross. And only after I completely recover and my feet go up in position do I do the pivot. So don't try to pivot as the punch is coming back. Wait for the punch to come back. Once your feet are back in normal position, then you pivot. I mean, you can do that quite fast once you get used to it, right? I mean, it's just, pop, pop, boom, right? It'll come. But I've obviously been doing it a long time. So it's all just repetition and getting your body used to the motion. So that foot goes flat, then you go. Exactly. That's what happens with a lot of people when they're starting out. They're trying to combine all the moves, and it's just like break them down slowly, right? There you go. Yeah, bring it back, foot over, pivot. Good. Yeah. Definitely getting the idea. Excellent. And footwork is the most important thing because everyone thinks obviously in boxing, they think hands, but the footwork puts you in position, it puts you in safe positions, and it puts you in position to actually strike your opponent without getting hit back is what it comes down to, right? Yeah. And then we can try it the other way, right? So again, we're coming in, I'm coming in my toe-to-toe line, I throw my jab, I throw my cross as I go here, and then I pivot to the other side. So it's the same pivot you were doing before. When you get in that recovery position, we're just going to the other side.
I think I was going to that side.
You were going to your left, right? So now you're going to go to your right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just pivot the foot, right? You don't have to step back, just pivot. So I'm just going to pivot again. If you look at the opponent, right? If I have an opponent here, I'm going to throw that 1-2, I get in position, and then I just pivot to the side. Pivot to the side. Just like I'm just sliding on my foot.
I'll get that one.
What you're doing is you're adjusting and you're leaving your front foot doesn't change, right? So I'm just on the ball of my foot from my front, okay? I'm just turning, but my rear foot stays in my rear foot, right? I'm not changing it at all. I'm just pivoting. There you go. Yeah, there you go, perfect.
Oh, right, like that.
Yeah, see, it's hard to make sense of it when you can't see an opponent in front of the person. It's a little bit harder to make sense of it, but this chair is going to have to do for now. There you go. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Cover and pivot. Yeah. And again, remember, the side that you go to would really depend on where you were in respect to your opponent, right?
Yeah.
So if I was farther over if I was in the toe-to-toe position, then I would go that way. If I was a little bit farther over and I'm in line with their right hand, I'm gonna go this way, right? And that angle change really is effective, and it puts people in a bad position, especially when you have people that are super aggressive, right? Because they have that tendency to charge forward, and then it's kind of like being a matador, you know? You just let them go on by, right? And then it puts them in a bad position. I found, especially in Alberta, that a lot of the boxers are super aggressive and they like to charge forward, and that works really, really well against them. Okay, so let's just try a couple of combinations.
Yeah, at Trent, I worked with a group called Tracks. And,
Yeah.
They actually got a whole bunch just given to them because they were an Aboriginal group. And the lady said, I don't know what to do with them. I don't even know how to use them. So I said, well, hey, if I send you one of my staff that knows how to program and can figure these things out, can we use them in some of our camp programs? So we wrote a little agreement, a partnership agreement, and were able to use our canoes and Mike and
We got a cross up there somewhere, guys.
the robots. It was pretty cool. So yeah, but I really think that would be something. Get a little bit of
I think audio for something else is coming across. Someone else is coming across.
Do you guys do any STEM stuff? Does your outfit encourage that?
Can you hear me, Cheyenne?
Oh, no, not to buy the robots. Like you guys to come down and show people how to troubleshoot like Windows or something like that.
Who is rec manager?
Yeah, I don't know who rec manager is, but you're speaking over our class.
You can mute them from your position, I think, somehow.
I'm gonna try. Let me see. Mute audio. There we go. Okay, there we go. That'll work better. I think someone's on the phone and forgot they had the speaker turned on. Okay, so we'll try a couple combinations. What I want to do is we're gonna focus on that uppercut again. Okay, so we're pushing off that back foot. Okay, again with the jab. Now from here, we're rotating into our uppercut. Remember, don't dip your hand down. Okay, just let your body do the work as you come back. And then you're going to turn and rotate the same as you would for a right hand, right? Turn and rotate in that right hand, okay? And then after we do that, again, as we recover, we're going to get in the habit now of starting to pivot off, okay? So we'll do it again from the outside. Jab, bring that back foot in, uppercut. As I recover, I pivot off, okay? Yeah. Pivot off and create the angle. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, sorry, I just had to run away to deal with some food. How are you generating the force for uppercut? Is it similar to a cross punch?
It comes off the same thing that you would with a straight right hand. It's coming off that hip, right? So you're going to pivot just the same as you would, right? So as I come here, I'm rotating and I pivot in. Just like this. Rotate, pivot. It still comes off your hip. You see me coming forward, I'm turning that hip. And that's where that power's coming from. I'm on the ball of the foot and I turn the hip, okay? A lot of people, like I said, will try and drop their hand down. That's a bad idea because you're leaving yourself wide open when you do it. And don't forget the pivot, guys. There you go.
Where does your fist stop in an uppercut?
So, I mean, ultimately, depending on where your opponent is, right? You're looking for that chin, right? This is the target you're looking for. So, I mean, again, it would be here, right? You're not going to want to reach out for it kind of thing. This is a punch that's going to be thrown fairly close, right? Assuming your opponent is within punching range, you turn, you rotate. Now, if the opponent is coming in low, all you need to do in that case is dip your body. So dip your legs down and then turn and rotate here, right? And then just bring it up right here. That's your motion, okay? The next thing that we're gonna work on, guys, with that uppercut combo is that we're gonna add a hook in. Now, the thing you have to remember is you can, with the left hook, you can hook, recover, and pivot, or you can pivot off the left hook because your foot's coming up on the ball of your foot anyway as you pivot, or when you throw the punch. So what a lot of the fighters will do is they'll use that hook to kind of hook and spin, right? So it's kind of like boom, boom, and then I hook and spin, right? That's a great way too if you're trapped against the ropes. A lot of guys will just throw that punch to make their escape, right? Just throw it, hook and spin when you're on the outside, right? So let's try that one a little bit for me. And then hook and spin, yeah. Remember to keep your hands up on both sides, guys, when you're throwing your punch. 90% of people who start boxing, when they throw a punch on the left side, will drop their right hand or vice versa. You don't want to do that. You want to try and keep that hand up in position all the time.
Do you spin while you hook, or do you hook and then spin?
You can do either, Eric. Like either one is acceptable. You're gonna definitely, if you hook while you spin, it's gonna be faster and safer, but it's gonna generate less power, right? So, because then you're not planting your feet, right? So it depends on the situation, but I mean, I like to hook and then spin. But if I had a person who was super aggressive that was coming in, a lot of times I would use that hook, like I said, just to hook and spin, create the opening, and then throw my other punches. And when you're throwing the punches, guys, try and be with someone roughly about the same height range that you are, right? So that you'll know where you want to be throwing those punches, right? So I mean, for me, by this point, I've made contact, right? I've made contact.
I always imagine someone bigger than me.
Well, that's not a bad thing. It just, it just changes the angles of where you're going to punch. But I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes natural to you anyway. If a person is taller, like I'm a super heavyweight, so I'm only 6'3", which is pretty small for a super heavyweight in reality. A lot of guys are 6'5", 6'6", so I have to punch up at them. I have to punch up at them a little bit, right? And that's okay. That's fine. Gives you a little velocity. It's fine. And this is where if you have an opponent that's more physically physically stronger or larger than you too, a lot of the footwork and angle work is really what's going to save you, because you're just creating a problem. Like if I have an opponent and that opponent is aggressive to me and they're coming here and I pivot off, as soon as they turn to face me, I can just pivot the other way again, and I can keep creating that angle as I go, right? It's very frustrating for the person who's having it happen to them, because everywhere they move, you're already gone, right? And you'll see some people. I don't know if you guys watch boxing, but if you want to go on YouTube, a guy to watch would be, his name is Vasil Lomachenko. He's phenomenal with his footwork, and he just makes guys are looking for him all over the ring.
His first name starts with a V?
V, yeah, Vasil Lomachenko.
Is that sort of what they describe as outboxing?
Yeah, exactly. Outboxing a guy. I mean, there's a couple different approaches you can take in a boxing match. One, you can just bang it out with somebody and go toe to toe and rely on your head movement and your box, or you can be technical and box from the outside. Personally, for me, I don't like to box on the inside unless I have to. It's better. It's better. I don't want to get hit. I mean, I'm not afraid to get hit. I've been doing it for a long time, but I prefer not to. Right? So creating those angles and always staying on the outside, that's preventing me from getting hit. It's making it more difficult for my opponent to throw their punches. And even when they are able to throw their punches, if you're constantly changing the angle, they're adjusting and they're not getting their body weight behind the punches the way they normally would. So the footwork, like I said, that's really like, and for me, when I'm coaching people who are competitive, especially, I focus on that a great deal. It's very important. And at the Alberta Provincial Championships this year, I had a couple of boxers just kind of school everybody, and that's what they were doing, is they were changing that angle constantly. It's very, head movement and foot movement is so important. And then you can buy things like double end bags for home. You attach them to the floor, attach them to the ceiling, wherever, and basically you push it and it comes back, which is great for head movement. And then you can change your angles as well, right? It's a great little tool if you can get your hands on one. Okay, guys, so we'll try one more combination, right? We're gonna add in a left hook to the body. Now, the body punching is a little bit different than punching to the head. When we throw a hook to the head, we're going to be in this position with our elbow up, or in this position with our elbow up. But a body hook is almost like a cross between an uppercut and a hook to the body. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up underneath the rib cage here, which is going to be your liver and your spleen. Either one of these, if you get hit there, is extremely painful, right? When we think about being hit to the body, we think about here in the front, the breadbasket, all that kind of stuff. That's not that's not what you really want to avoid. It's the liver and the spleen. And you can keep, that's why it's important to keep those elbows in as well. So when you throw that punch, it's the same motion that you would for the hook, the head. The only difference is it's coming up and under, right? So it's going to be a low punch. Picture someone's body being here. I'm trying to come into that liver, right? So if you want to, you can just do the motion, just rotate forward like you're throwing a right hand, and then turn into the body here. Okay? Rotate forward, turn into the body. And this is one that I want you guys to practice before the session next week, because it's a little bit hard to master. And you're gonna want to look into the mirror while you're doing it. Again, you should be here. Rotate forward, hands up in position. Rotate back into the hook to the body. Okay? So let's try and put it into a quick combo. Jab, cross, hook to the body. Right? So it's going to be the same motion. You're coming forward, you're pushing off that back foot to create the distance. Jab, bringing that back foot in, cross, and then we're coming up, hook to the body. Good. Yeah, and it's going to feel awkward again, guys. Obviously, punching the air doesn't give you quite the idea that you would. But so your finishing position, I've come over into my cross, and then I'm turning and I'm rotating here. So this is where you're going to be, right? And again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come up underneath that rib cage. The liver punch is something you'll hear talked about quite a bit in combat sports. It's one of the worst things you can ever be hit with. I would much rather be hit in the head than be hit in the liver. Much rather. So let's just try that combo for a couple minutes, guys. Make sure again that you try and keep your right hand up as you go. Don't drop your right hand as you throw the left hook. Again, the reasoning is very simple. If you throw a left hook, I throw a left hook, my hand's up, yours isn't, it's not going to be good.
There's an MMA video out there somewhere where two guys literally hook each other and knock each other out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember that fight.
Beautiful to watch, but
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, that like, if even when you're being aggressive and your opponent's hurt, if you let that guard down for just 1 second, you know, you can get caught, right? And it only takes, like people think it takes a big shot to knock somebody out. It really doesn't. If you hit them in the right place, they're going to go. A lot of times when you see people getting hit, they're getting hit up here, they're getting hit here. You can pretty much take a punch here. The skull's pretty solid, right? The chin, not so much. Okay? A little small shot right there will put you right to sleep. That's why we want to make sure that we defend that area. Keep that chin tucked. A lot of times when you see inexperienced fighters, you'll see them with their chin right up in the air like this. That's really bad. Okay, guys, well, I don't want to flood you again anyway with too much information again. So, I mean, that's what you got. I'd like you to work on the pivot and the left hook to the body. If you can get in the mirror and do it, that would be fantastic because that'll give you an idea. You can see if your hands are dropping, that kind of thing. But those are the two things I really want you to focus on. And then we'll see you again next Thursday.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
No worries.
Take care.
You as well.
All right. So you're good for next week at the same time, John?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And again, I apologize for that. I went to log on. I was like, I don't have the internet. What the heck am I going to do here? And then by the time I finally figured it out, it was kind of too late, right? So.
A bit late too, so we kind of left some people hanging, but
Yeah, well, that definitely won't happen again, guys. We'll definitely be there for next week.
okay, awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, Zoom code for next week. Well,
Okay. If there's any changes at all, just let me know. Just send me a message.
also, I sent you my phone number if you ever have any problems signing on again.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate that.
All right, have a good day.
You as well. Bye-bye.